Hey, what's up? I just got back from the dentist and I had nothing else to do. Now that I'm home, because that was all I had planned. Do you remember this little stain I had on my teeth? I don't have it anymore. I kind of miss it. It probably comes back because I sleep with an open mouth because my little string under my tongue is too small apparently. So I gotta get surgery on that because you know with like the tongue that's to rest get like the roof of your mouth. Well, for me it's like in the middle, so it doesn't really work right. But I haven't done a video in a while, and I thought, hey, I just did this lore thing. I still have to fill this side up, so why not brainstorm on video? Because I don't know. I don't usually like do lore like brainstorms. I usually don't really um, tell too much about my lore, I guess. I used to. I love Instagram, but then I stopped using Instagram, and I do drop like lore bits on like my Discord, but that's not public. That's not that's not getting any praise. I need praise. I need to be told like doing phenomenal books, and I'm like thank you, and that keeps me living. So I need the attention. Please comment. Please comment your favorite things about my lord. Please, please, please. No. Look, I recently realized that I really want to do more with like the things I make. So I thought, okay, so why not do it? So I was, okay, I'll do it. So this was what I've been working on as of late. And to give you a bit of an introduction, this is a creature trading company, and these are the main people for that company. And you may ask, Buxton, why do they trade creatures? That's terrible. That's a terrible thing to do. And I agree, and that's the point. People do terrible things. It's kind of like they're borderline human traffickers too, but we'll get to that later. Just to casually drop a bombshell. But the thing is, look, their names. You see it in this corner. You see this corner. Let's start with this little part here, like the little part here. So it's called Corbeau, I think. Corbeau office. It's an old name. I think it's French for just like crow office, and I literally just gave them the crows later. They did have the like symbol, but I used my little Corfit creature for them to, put it all together because I don't know. I thought crows were cool back in the day, but I gave them no reason to be called that. So now they're called that. So let's read this little thing down here. Located in the Divide Desert, and you may think, Buxton, what's the Divide? What's the desert? um, well, I'm gonna assume you know nothing, okay? In this world, we have Everwinter. This is not the shape of Everwinter, but imagine this. Huge forest, right? Huge forest. And then you have, gotta explain the whole lore, don't I? Okay, got this huge forest, right? And you have this little man, little baby child over here. I'm drawing in. Give me a moment. Give me one moment. You may hear my father on the background, but ignore that. But no, you have this little guy. This little guy is named Dorothy. And Dorothy was born in a beautiful urban area, which he hated. Well, he couldn't hate it because he had like a bunch of these little mites in his body. And most of the time, these mites don't really do anything. These are in his body, by the way. Here, give him a shirt. Got these little mites. They're in his body. And most of the time, these mice, like, okay, they're just mites. Everyone has their little creatures. You have like, what was it? What was it that's in your eyebrows? I think you have little creatures in your eyebrows right now. Was it Laos? Lysa? Wait, what creature lives in my eye? Wow. Eyelash mites. See, you have mites on your body right now. And that's kind of my point I'm making. These mites, most of the time, not really harmful. But they evolved. And they took over this little guy's brain. So he couldn't think for himself. It's just a body. And all these mites start to reproduce. Started being more mites. Took over his entire body. Couldn't, like, think. Didn't have emotions. He's not human. He's just skin for a bunch of mites. And these mites, very smart. These mites thought, I don't fuck with humanity. I think they kind of judge me because I don't know how humans work. So I'm going to walk away. And where I'm going to walk away to? Well, there's this massive forest, like the size of a country. Well, let's go in there. Probably no people there. So little baby boy Dorothy goes into the forest with these mites in his body. Doesn't have a choice. He's just a body. Can't really do anything. So because it's the forest, but these mites keep reproducing in little Dorothy's body. And they're like, let's get out of this body. So they start to spread. Like imagine little Dorothy living over here. It starts to spread, start to spread, start to spread, start to spread, and eventually the whole forest covered in mites. Well, the living creatures over there, they they don't know how to react to the mice. They get like a message. Oh, okay. Um, they don't know how to react to the mice. Their DNA starts kind of adapting to these mice because these mice, did you know, they can change DNA. Oh, but Buxton, how can they do that? Well, I looked very briefly into genetic engineering, and this is probably not accurate to how it happens, but apparently genetic engineers use like this bacteria that can kind of cut out the DNA samples, and they can put that bacteria into like another species. It kind of work that way. Well, the mice can kind of do the same, but more controlled. They can like kind of manipulate bacteria to kind of change DNA, but sometimes it just happens naturally. They just have an influence over those microorganisms, and they have a big impact. So you have, for example, you have this thing. Wonder what's that based off? Well, it's based off a jagda, a crow, just corvids. They're made of corvids. So they got like corvid DNA in there. So that's kind of how it works. And the more mice, like the more the creatures become like kind of further from the animals, like the original animals. Yeah, I got like a bunch of creatures going on, and let me pull up another one real quick, because I hope it doesn't show my thing. No, it's just on file pack. That's fine. Let me pull up the most mite infested creature, who's just mites, just a mite host, which is replica. If it if it copy paste, please. There we go. It's a big image. Bear with me. So you got replica. This is just a creature of all mites. This is all mites. And you got another one, which is the Beast of Everwinter. Let's pull that one up. Beast of Everwinter. But these are just later in the story. I'm kind of like spoiling things right now. Also big pictures. Bear with me. This thing is also all mites. It kind of looks like a birch tree vaguely. I still got to redesign it, but this is like the base of it. But let me put like a between creature too. So you got the all might creature. They got the slightly affected ones with like original animal it's based on, and then you have kind of the border between that. Like, okay, there's some. Hey, come up here, come up here. So you have like such a big image, but you got in this one that's what's the name? Fuck. Comation. Got a comation. Let's do a size comparison too. They're kind of big. Wait. See, they're about this size, and a comation is it has some like canine, feline DNA in there. You can see that, but it is very much its own creature because what What the fuck is that, Buxton? What is that? Well, that's a whole other concern that's not really necessary for the Corbeau story. But now you got like an idea of what impact these mites have. So maybe this big ass bird makes more sense to you. So you got all these creatures in this forest, right? They're just in that forest. You may think, a rare species, exotic. Hmm, guess what rich people want as their pets? Guess what people want them for materials, for products? Kind of like a rhino nose has healing powers kind of mindset, you know? So, of course, illegal businesses are gonna start dealing them. They don't care for what. Gonna use it for product, pets, whatever, as long as they get money. Because the thing is, to get some kind of idea of how it works, we got Everwinter. We just talked about Everwinter, right? Huge forest, countryside forest. Well, Everwinter does not do money. They don't use money. Like, what's the point of like money in a forest? Doesn't get you anywhere. You don't have grocery stores. You kind of they do trading. They are like, hello, I got this huge orb. Do you want it? And this other person is like, yes, I want the orb. Here, have my giant bird. That's kind of how it goes. Kind of in that direction. So Everwinter does trading. But of course, you also have outside Everwinter. You got like cities. You got the desert. Got a desert out here, huh? Got water. Oh, water trade. So you got like it's countryside. There's of course there are gonna be like different environments attached to it, but you got like urban environment, you got the desert like at the edge, and you got like water somewhere. It is not like a accurate map, but it's just an idea of what edges like what's at the bounds of Everwinter, you know. But right now we're in the divide, aka the desert. So you may think, okay, here's this desert at the edge of Everwinter. They don't have the community sense of Everwinter, where they say, "Oh, don't disrespect the creatures. They're magical. They have to be studied. They have to be respected. They have to be treated, and the ecosystem has to be maintained." But these desert people, they're from a whole other culture. They're like bound, like at the edge of like cities, more urban areas, like more like important stuff. They probably etch like a water somewhere too, and they don't really have the influence over the mites because that's the thing too. These mites that I mentioned earlier, which I should have said earlier, but I forgot. These mites can communicate with one another. So this mite can communicate to this mite. And that goes in like a very that goes very far. You got this mite, and then it connects to this mite, and then it connects to the next mite. It goes on and on and on, kind of like a neural activation kind of thing. But eventually, remember little Dorothy over here? He's the leader of the mice. That body, all the information ends up going to little Dorothy, who's like an old man, but then he's like 1,000 years old at this point, but like more like thousands years old. But gotta ignore that. But all the mites from the entire forest put like information back to this as like a source. It's like a one-way street. So every little bit of information goes to Dorothy. And the Dorothy mites, which are the leader, so to say, who make the decisions, kind of keep watch over like the forest, kind of inspects like, why does that happen? Why does that happen? What can we learn from this? Why do the mites do this? They are kind of learning about themselves whilst they observe from everyone's eyes because everyone has like some sort of mites. But the desert, very little mites. So the communication, if you have the desert over here, kind of mites in the desert, They cannot reproduce that well in the desert. They're not used to that. And so far from like the forest. Like, okay, I'm gonna try and communicate with my friend. It goes, like doesn't reach him. Doesn't reach him. So Dorothy, in the end, doesn't know what's happening in the in like the desert, you know. And of course, the desert people very much aware of that. They're like, okay, the mice aren't as influenced over here in my little desert, so we can just do fuck all. So you got like a little trading community going on. And you got like there's this other guy who's like kind of a freak who's in there too, but he's not part of Corbeau office, which you're talking about. But the important part is the desert, a very no man's land, very no rules. Just do whatever you want. Yeah, you could kind of take advantage of the whole distance from the Everwinter thing. So of course, like okay, a business starts, and you have the Mercier. I don't know. I gotta Google it. I gotta know how to say my own fucking character names. Pronunciation. Let's see. Break Mercier down into sounds and so. I don't want AI to tell me. They always say the wrong things. Let me go to YouTube. Give me 1 second. Say it.
How do you pronounce these Mercier?
Mercier. The Mercier family. Got the Mercier family. And way back in the day, they started this little creature trading community, and that became larger and larger and larger. And now you got the last generation going on here. And um, the oldest of the generation was him, but as it says below here, Tennyson Taylor Mercier, drowned to death in the bathhouse by his daughter Taylor Mercier, which is which is her. So he's dead. He was like the semi most recent leader of the I might as well look up how to say that. Corbeau, Corbeau, Corbeau. Please, correctly in French. Sorry for using French. I know why I did that. It was way back in the day, but keeping it, I'm getting a Kit Kat ad.
Just going for a break.
Whatever.
Oh, hey, just the man I'm
just going
looking
for a
for.
break.
It's like a minute long video,
Have a break.
please.
Have a Kit Kat.
Say it.
Corbeau.
Corbeau? Okay. Wait, again? Corbeau? Really? Say it again.
Corbeau.
Corbeau. Okay, whatever. So, it's Corbeau office. Apparently. But, yeah, she's the current leader of the Corbeau office. And he's the coming up leader. Her adoptive son. But we're going too far. We're going too far. We were reading this over here before I started explaining the basics of Everwind lore. Let's see. They're in the Divide, which again is a desert. It's like kind of a midway street somewhere between Everwinter and something else. I don't know yet. But Corbeau office is a quote illegal. Remember that? Remember that? Illegal. There's no rules there. Technically not illegal, but Everwinter's not happy with it, and the urban areas aren't happy with it. So it is illegal technically if they trade to those places, which they do. So it's illegal. A creature trading company. They're not defined by any law. See, their practices are considered immoral, both within and out of the bounds of Everwinter. Their base inhabit their base inhabits the large flock of Karutas, which is the bird. Will clean up carcasses and keep guard. Pretty like obvious, right? Because crows, they kind of gather around like death, I'm sure I have like, let me see. Huge flock of crows, meaning I gotta check my facts here before I start lying. No, I don't mean symbolically. Uh, I don't mean spiritual meanings. Uh, why is there a huge flock of crows? They're roosting, they're grieving, they sense danger, and blah blah blah. Anyways, quite sure there was like a take that they were around the dead body or something. Wait, maybe that's a miss though. Do crows gather around dead body? Dead body. A crow dies, other comment. That's not why. Not what I want. Okay, they at least mourn. I saw somewhere that they were around dead bodies, which that's stupid. But I'm keeping that as like my lore, so it is real in this world that they gather around death a lot, kind of like vultures. They're kind of like what's it called? Like creatures that eat like leftovers. Carcass eaters name. Uh what are vultures? Scavengers. That's what I think I was looking for scavengers. But anyways, they kind of clean up the mess. They're really liked around the whole trading company. They're friends. It's like the biggest one, and they're best friends with like the leader. So they got kind of a whole thing going on there. But you have this trading center. Things get traded, creatures get traded, exotic, like common, whatever is asked for, whatever gets the cash in. Because, you know, I told you, Everwinter does not do cash, but the urban areas, they do cash. And the Divide, they do want cash. They go back to urban areas like pretty frequently to get stuff. So they do like money. So they do care about money. Everwinter, not so much. That's probably why the crime rate is so low, because there's no reason to really do a lot there. You can maybe trade, and you can be like a weirdo towards creatures, which they do not like either. But that's really it. But with the Divide and like the urban areas and like at the edge of Everwinter, which does have the school, so kind of like a midway. There is some crime there, like in the midst of Everwinter, a lot less. But it is like at the edge and the urban areas and the Divide and the water trading and such, they do like money. It's just like in the middle of Everwinter, they don't give a fuck. It's kind of like the mites. They kind of like get less prominent as you go out, but instead of getting less prominent, the money becomes more prominent as you go out of Everwinter. So the less mites, the more money. So try to remember that. But yeah, those Karutas, they're all over this place. They love it there. It's their home. They love it there. And they're Merche, didn't I think so. Corbeau and Merche, yeah. Oh, I don't know how to say the title. Fuck. Dirigant pronunciation. Let's see. I'm just learning how to say my OC's names and titles. Come on. Oh, this is like a whole guide. What? This is like an hour-long video. This is not what I want. This is not what I asked for. I want this 1 minute video. I got like an hour, 1 hour video. No! Oh fuck! It's like a box set. What? No! This is not what I want. Help me. Oh. Okay, please, please, please.
The Great Smoky Mountains
Eminem.
to some of the
Please, come on.
Un dirigeant.
Dirijan. Okay, Dirijan. Dus ik got what was it? Oh fuck, I forgot. I'm looking it up again. What was it? Dirijan. Um, Corbeau, Corbeau, and say it.
Si et
Nope.
merci. Mercier.
Mercier. Okay, got the Mercier. Oh fuck, I forgot it again. Dirigan. Was that Dirga? Dirga? Say it.
Un
Okay. Nope. Come on, say it. Say
dirigeant.
it. Dirigeant. Jean. Okay. That was Mercier. The dirigeant. Fucking hell. Why do I say French people? Okay. Anyways, the Mercier family were all always like the Le Dirigeant, apparently. What you say it like, but you know. And that means they're the leader of this little creature trading center. So they do kind of like they boss people around, kind of like a boss. Literally, they're the boss of over everyone. But they kind of have this weird, like, well, not weird for them, but like for us, weird like culture going on. Because remember how this father figure got drowned? That's kind of a common thing. That's a whole thing this family is about. So they've always it's always been the Mercier, was it? Well, Mercier family as the leader. There's no like other family yet that has to become the leader. I think. Maybe like maybe one person like got the lead over it, but I don't know. Just assume always been the Mercier family. Was it Mercier? I don't know. Was it Mercier? I know Le Dirigeant. Dirigeant. I know that much. Okay, let's do Mercier again. Was it Mercier? I'm so sorry, I have short-term memory loss. Come on.
Mercier.
Mercier. Mercier and Dirigeant. Mercier. Okay, got it's always been the Mercier family, and the whole thing is that they get a baby, they have a beautiful little family, and the actual leader, the one with this ring, this ring over here. You see this ring? The leader with this ring decides, okay, who am I going to make the next the Jirija? And he's like, let's see the strongest, like the most capable. And they pick one if they have several children. If they have one and they're like fine with that, they're like, okay, it's you, the one and only. So they kind of train their child, like teach them the ropes, like how to handle a creature, how to how to get it all figured out, like how to lead people, how to convince them, how to be superior over other people. And they also teach you how to kill their parents. So that's the whole thing. They're all like from the get go, they're trained like, okay, when you're ready to be the dirigeant, you're gonna kill me. So of course, Taylor, she killed her father. That was the whole goal. She got trained by her father to kill him, and she did. Kind of, she did kind of do it quite cinematically in like a bathhouse, as it says. Like it made her take a bath. Like okay, let's rest up. Long day, all filthy from these gross little creatures. Let's take a bath. And your daughter comes in and like drowns you. And she's like, okay, my turn. And you may think, okay, what's going on with this ring? Why is it in the finger? Well, that's kind of like a weird thing. It's kind of like a symbolic thing. Like, okay, I have a high pain tolerance. I can. Yeah, it's mine. You cannot just take it off. It's like in there. You have to actually, as like the next in line, you have to pierce like your dominant hand's middle finger, and you have that spot like already open. Like you already have like piece of skin like separate. That they do that like from the get go if they decide like, okay, I want you to be the next one. And the thing is, it's not per se that the family has to become the next Le Dirigeant, the next Le Dirigeant, because anyone could become that. But that does mean you have to know how to handle creatures. You have to boss around this massive office. You have to pierce your finger and then get killed if they find you out, because they don't fuck with that. They want to keep the family going. So if they see like, oh, he's preparing to take us over, like, no, you're gonna die. They'll get you first. They literally like they check the hands like frequently. They like if someone walks past, they just glance at the dominant hand and are like, hmm. Or if they wear gloves, they're like very attentive to that. They do not like force it. They don't want to come across as paranoid because that's not good for your leadership like status. But they do like keep an eye on that. So if you want to be the next Le Dirigeant, as like I'm not, what was it? Fuck. Here.
Si, as, Mercier.
Mercier. Mercier. Like as not a Mercier family member, you do have to be very careful. You gotta prepare your finger for like the ring. You gotta figure out like how to kill this very intimidating figure, because that's the thing too. They had from the get go you get taught to be very intimidating, very big, very quite eccentric and very ruthless. So people are kind of like, I don't really care to be the next leader because it's just a lot of trouble, and the dirty shot is kind of scary. I don't want to kill her. Because come on, look, she's low key scary. You could just see that she got some shit going on. She drowned her father, so you know. So most people are like, yeah, never mind. I'll leave them be. So they've been in there for like generations, and they really do take the lead. And Taylor, she's a very independent woman. After killing her father, she was like, I do have to keep the tradition going, but I don't fuck with anyone. I don't want to get pregnant. So that comes down to, okay, you've got a creature trading going on. Like, how does that work? Well, I've been thinking about it. I was thinking, okay, you got, let's bring this back up. Got like the Everwinter over here. And in Everwinter, you also have these little trader guys. You have trader guys with Dorothy's facility, matter of fact. It's kind of a vague business. It's it's like I don't know why it happens. It does happen. That's Dorothy like trades creatures away, probably to like broaden his like informational pool. But he does like put creatures up to trade. Like a very specific set of people can have access to Dorothy's creatures and kind of release them kind of in the wild. I think that's kind of the goal there. Just kind of spread them out, like get a new species going, kind of study them in like another environment. I think that's like the whole goal of that. I'm not sure. I'm just bullshitting that. I'm just making it up on the spot. That's what this whole thing is about. But that way, Dorothy, aka the source for some creatures, because like to get back on that, some creatures are like naturally affected by the might. The might kind of do their own thing. It's not really controlled. So, for example, the Karuta, it's just like it's just a Corvid affected by the might. That's it. Dorothy did like specifically say, okay, I wanted to have many eyes and to be very big. He did pick that. So that just happened naturally. Then you have the more might influence creatures. Those are like more his call. And you also got might belt, which which like kind of this stringy hair stuff. They also kind of manipulate like the brain and kind of like an infection. And I don't know if you've seen them before, but you got these assistant guys who are like very prominent in those facilities, and they are kind of like very good guards. They use their masks to like attack with the might belt and their hair. So they can become like massive hair spike things, which is really scary. But that's might belt. That's like a very Dorothy influenced creature. So you also have very might influenced creatures, which are more towards the direction of like the fully mice creatures, like the partial mice creatures, and the occasional like experimentation. It really just depends. Whatever he wants to learn about, or the might want to learn about more like. But it's easier to just say Dorothy because it's the host. So, but it really just depends on what he wants to learn about. So where was I? Oh right. These creatures get traded, right? Kind of like the 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 actual Dorothy creatures that are don't naturally like occur in the wild. He kind of puts them out there. It's like, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see if like what kind of influence that has. He is very experimental of, okay, let's do a group there, a group there, a group there, and like gather information. He wants as much information as possible. That's the whole point. But these creatures also end up in the divide eventually. And you would say, Buxton, can Dorothy then see what's going on in the divide? And that's the thing. Later in the story, he does get like some kind of influence over the divide. He does kind of like vaguely spread over the divide, but not as great as it should be. Because remember the fucked up little guy that also lives in the divide? He gets caught by Dorothy and gets like locked up because he is just too fucked up. Dorothy is like, yeah, okay, okay, I don't fuck with that. So let's get that thing out of there and make him do experiments for me, which is really funny. But the thing with what was it, Corbeau? I think it was Corbeau. With Corbeau office is the like the way they treat the animals isn't particularly something he's very much against. It's not like they're actively manipulating like the DNA or something. They at best like breed some animals and creatures to like make new creatures to like trade. So that's like a very small side business for them. But aside from that, they don't really do a lot that influences his informational pool because the other guy just straight up fucked them up like so bad that the information wasn't like realistic for like natural occurrences. So he was like, yeah, I don't want that to happen. I don't want that happening. And it freaks me out because the whole thing is like you had these creatures here by this fucked up guy. They were being abused, and if a creature is like hurt, these mites are like, what the fuck? And they start like giving stress signals. They're no, like, help, help. So technically, Dorothy was living like for months, hearing a very vague signal of help, help, I'm dying, I'm dying, I'm dying. So he, imagine like screaming going on for months at the back of your head. So he was like, something's going on that I don't quite like. So he ends up solving that. But the Corbeau office, he's kinda he fucks with that. It's not like thumbs up or thumbs down because he doesn't have an opinion. But he's like, okay, this like a good informational source. I don't care to interrupt them. They're fine. But they don't know that directly. They don't know like that Dorothy approves of them. They don't care either. They don't really involve in all that Everwinter bullshit. They just know, okay, we can do this here, so we're doing it here. So in the end, they're under like Dorothy's approval. They're not at any risk to be stopped by Dorothy himself or itself. Doesn't really matter. But the they don't really know that. They just do their thing. It doesn't really matter. But it does make that like creatures from Dorothy's end up going there for like an information source for him and to like spread his might even more through this trading company, right? Because that's the point. He wants to spread the mice, get more information, and learn how to spread even more. He wants to take over the whole world. So he kind of vaguely uses Corbeau office for that, you know. Not like entirely, it's just like one business. It's not a lot, but it's something. So they're fine. They're fine. They get the creatures from like Dorothy. They get the creatures from the forest. They take the occasional creatures from urban areas and like transport them to other urban areas because yeah, urban areas have their whole other like creature thing going on because they have some might things going on and that well you get like very specific kind of creatures out of that because I'll pull one up. I got one that's like a solid urban area creature. I still gotta like get to them more, like get more figured out. But the whole thing about the urban area is that you get more very strange humanoid hybrids in a way. Like they really go into the more like selective breeding side of things. So you got here, I'll put it in the corner over here. Got temples, which are literally just kind of cat girls. Like very they're kind of like emotional support dogs. They can do services too, but it's literally just like a service dog, just as like a person who can know minimal words. So like the communication isn't as bad. But you know, they're still like cute humanoid things, so it's gonna end up bad. Yeah, you know that from the get go. But that's like a very specific urban creature that lives kind of at the edge of Everwinter, but they're very frowned upon by Everwinter because they're like specifically bred and they don't fuck with that. So yeah, they do get traded from like urban areas to the divide and then like off to like further urban areas. They do that. So that's kind of how the trade goes. They just get creatures from all over, kind of gather them, and then see who's interested via like people that go out for trading gatherings because there are events for like creature trading, like underground events and things like that. So that's how they make their living. They make their cash, which they use at the urban areas for their stuff and their house. Well, not really their house. They just live at the divide in this like little base. They don't have to pay taxes, but they can like buy stuff. They can like improve their company. They got it good. They can get the fancy meat for dinner every night. So they kind of got that going on. But to get back to like the family, Taylor knew the Dirigeant. Yeah, it was Dirigeant. Taylor's a new Dirigeant. Didn't want to get pregnant. She was like, okay, well, who's gonna be the next Dirigeant? Like, oh, my grandma's here. Okay, but who's gonna be the next Le Dirigeant? Like, okay, I do need like a follow-up person. And I went off to my whole rant about how creatures get traded. Well, I gotta get back to that because despite like the regular traders, like the Dorothy traders that get them to the divide, and like the other traders, you also have pest control. And pest control is like, okay, I got this creature over here. I don't know what to do with them. And the divide has like some kind of advertising, like, okay, you can drop them off here if you don't have space for them. We'll get them somewhere. We'll do it because most like pest control companies in Everwinter are kind of either like they let the creatures back free in like a proper area or they just shove them to like creature trading, which the divide is like, well, uh was it Corbeau? Corbeau? Was it Corbeau? I'm just calling it Corbeau. No, it was wrong. I know Corbeau is wrong. What is it? Fuck. Um, Corbeau. I keep forgetting it. It's so bad. Let's see. Oh, sorry about that. That's an Xbox ad.
Corbeau.
Corbeau. Okay. Corbeau. Okay. So Corbeau office. Yeah, they just kind of shove it to Corbeau office. Like, okay, creature trading, whatever. Corbeau office is like the biggest creature trading company. So most like pest control workers, traders, kind of if they can't do anything with it, it's like okay, throw it to the crows, throw it to the Karuta gang, whatever. So you have like a lot of people dropping off their little things at like the edge of the divide, and some of the what was it, Corbeau? Yeah, Corbeau office workers pick it up eventually and get back to the base. And if anything died in the meantime before they picked it up, it's like okay, give it to the Karuthas. But the thing is, this like little space of like creatures being dropped off doesn't really get guarded. They don't really pay too much attention to that. It's like a vaguely known drop off spot. Like, okay, if you have something living that you don't want, just put it in a crate and throw it off here. We'll pick it up. Like it's like when you put trash out on the road and the trash truck kind of picks it up eventually. That's the same concept. But you also have people. Imagine like, okay, let's go this route. Imagine like you have a man, you have a woman, they get a child. They fucking hate it, so they put it in this in the drop-off spot. So sometimes you just have straight up abandoned children in there that they pick up, and they just take them under their wing and make them workers instead. Because you got this child. They're not really like big human traffickers. Sometimes it's if one like rich guy like bothers to come by to like look at like the options. He looks at the children and it's like, I want this one. They're like, okay, how much? But like generally they don't go to like events just to trade humans. They just make them workers because that's more convenient for them. And speaking of which, we're going back to Ken Louis Meche, which is Taylor's adoptive son. She was like looking through the new law, looking through the new drop off uh what do you call that? Like the like what was dropped off. She looked at the new products, so to say. She was like, okay, okay. And then there was this little child. It was like not a baby anymore, kind of like toddler, late toddler-ish. And she looked at me and was like, okay, let's do that. Let's do this one. I'll do this one. Best dumb baby stage. I don't have to take care of that, so I'll trade this one. So kind of from that late toddler age, she traced Ken to be the next Le Dirigeant. And as you see here, next in line, Ken Louis Mercier, adopted by Taylor after getting abandoned, trained to be the next Le Dirigeant. Literally what I just said. So that's what he has going on. So he was this little toddler, abandoned by his family, and he gets adopted by this large, terrifying woman. And he's like a toddler. He doesn't like know fear. He just knows his mommy and daddy aren't there. But he has this new woman like taking care of him. So he's like, okay. So he grows up. He grows up. He gets trained by Taylor, like straight up to take care of creatures, like how to handle them, how to handle people. Because the thing is, with the next in line, Le Déjà, they do have to listen when like the next in line kind of buzzes around. There is still kind of superiority there. They still have like some proper influence. So if he demands something, most people are going to listen, even though it's like this vague gray field of like whether you should listen or not. But most will listen because okay, this is gonna be your next leader. If you fuck up and they become the next Le Dirigeant and they don't like you, you're fucked. You're fucked. But they kind of try to keep the Mercier family befriended, and even though he's adopted, he's family. He's Taylor's son. They consider him like very much her birth son in a way, even though they're not related. They do look like vaguely similar, anyways. They have like black hair, tan, both. She probably like picked that out on purpose, like someone that looked like the family at least. But as you see, he does have like a very different nose. He has more of a hook nose, which like a prominent thing. But he gets raised by Taylor, learned like the ropes, what he has to do. He grows up, and during this growing up, he starts to really rely on her. She's like his savior, his idol, and that's kind of like an important thing too. You kind of have to make sure that the future Le Dirigeant is taking it very very seriously. Taylor took it very seriously when her father trained her too. So it's like a very specific lifestyle choice that you really have to stick to. Unfortunately for Taylor, Ken really was like, okay, I'm gonna be the next Le Dirigeant. I'm gonna do it. So he gets really dedicated, like really, really dedicated. He really looks up to Taylor, really tries his hardest. As, as you see, he has this little scar out here. He did that himself. He got like, you see the logo? It does kind of look like that, right? That's just for him to show off to Taylor like just how badly he wants it. Because, it's still like kind of okay, he was adopted, like are you sure he does have like the genetics? But he wants to like really show, okay, I'm doing this. I'm just as good as a biological son would be. And of course Taylor is very proud of that. He's like she's like, yeah, yeah, this is my boy. But he's like genuinely very dedicated. He does like a lot of work. He helps out a lot. He busts around like a lot, and he does some like graffiti-ish things too. I'm not sure where, but he does like help out with probably like boxes and crates and stuff, kind of to advertise in a way. And he has like pretty good ideas. He does have like a good influence over the office and how it runs. So that's generally how far I got. I did want to put like a bunch of text here, but I don't know what else to add. Wait, I do have more actually. I do have more. I do have more. I'm lying. I'm lying. I do have to find it though, because first of all, you also got if they load. Come on, whatever. Give me 1 second, guys. Here, if it opens. Come on. Copy, copy. This is gonna be quick because I have another creature I want to add in here, which I have to. It's not transparent. Transparent. Fuck. Come on, be transparent. That's fucked up. Whatever. I'm just gonna open the file. Let's see. It's fortunately pretty easy to find. I don't have a lot in 2025 yet. I mean, I do have plenty compared to, but you got these creatures. They're also like device creatures, and I've recently decided that they're gonna be kind of guard dogs. They're around too. They're also scavengers. They're helping out, little guard doggies. They're there to have fun. They're you know very important too. And they just help clean up and keep guard of like the creatures and stuff. I think that's kind of their thing. But I also had like another idea, but I do have to find where I put it because I have this old camel like creature that I based on like an old cryptid. But I'm gonna have to, find where it is. so I can show it. I don't know where I put it, so that's gonna be difficult. And it does have a name because I still have the name on my file, so bear with me. So, what I'm doing right now is just adding creatures, by the way, if I find them, that is. Well, it's not 2021, it might have been 2020. Or 2022, I'm not sure. I keep mixing up my dates. Let's see. Oh, it was 2020. Yes, okay. I do have to redesign. No, that's not what I wanted. No, stop. Okay, I'm gonna have to open the files. Give me a moment. This is like a very old creature. As I said, it was like 2022. I should I add the dog? No, I won't add the dog eventually. But I also got there's a big picture. I also got these camel like things that I still have to redesign. But they're also like, put some bags on there, kind of like the camels out in the desert out here. And they kind of help like move these creature crates and stuff. They're kind of there for that, kind of like the llamas in Minecraft. And probably real life too. I'm saying Minecraft like it's real, but but they're kind of like these big camel like things, and they help out with like creature carrying and stuff. So those are kind of like the creatures that what was it? Corbeau? Yeah, Corbeau. Corbeau office uses. And like genuinely, aside from that, I genuinely have nothing. So how long did it take? An hour? Okay. I mean, I did maybe like 40 minutes to be realistic. But that's why I have, and I'm going to fill out this page a bit more. But I did want to do like a lore thing. So I thought, since I was working on this, why not like do some Everwinter lore? And maybe someone gives a fuck. I hope you give a fuck. Let me know if you give a fuck. Let me let me know if you fuck with me. uh, but yeah, that's all I have so far. If you do have questions, please ask me. I'll make some shit up. And maybe I'll do more. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I just felt like dropping some lore, and Sickspiel just happens to be one of those things I can share lore about because with the Animal Cage, I'm writing an actual novel about that, so I'm not gonna drop lore about that as easily. I have like told it in a call recently, but if people like ask me directly, or if it turns out that way, I do tell about it. But aside from that, I try to keep it on low, so the novel itself is gonna be like good, like a fun read. But aside from that, I don't really mind sharing my stuff, but I just didn't get to it as of late. I used to do that a lot on Instagram, and I was looking back on it and was like, oh, that was very fun. So I thought, okay, let's do it again. Why not make a video? That's easier to get through because I used to put like huge paragraphs of text for people to read, and they still gave a fuck. So I don't know. I don't know. Whole other people here, of course, but maybe. But that was it. That was all I had. I'm gonna try and figure out what to add to it because I mean most of the time when I talk about it, I come up with some stuff, and I kind of did with like the whole trading thing. But aside from that, I'm like empty brained. I'm empty. I don't have anything to give you. So I hope you liked it. I hope you uh enjoyed it, which is same word, different cinnamon synonym. But you know, if you have any questions, please ask. I love questions. If you don't have any questions, good. If you got this far, great. Thank you. And well, until the next video, I guess. Until the next video, YouTube. Bye bye. Okay. Whatever.